Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham news and update show for Monday, February 5th. Yes, it's Monday, February 5th, and it is after a long weekend of getting through talking about losses and Parkinson and changing the shape and all this good stuff. But yeah, we are back. We're firing up a Monday here. We're going to move forward. And so we got a few things to get to today. Real quick, just want to get this one out here. I know it's a work day or to fire up a work day Monday, so I hope everyone's doing okay. Smash a like if you haven't. Once you get on and share, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. So it's good to see some familiar faces in there. So good to get back involved. And we want to talk about some positive things. And as you can see on the thumbnail, it says February fixtures, and then the focus is on fix. How do we fix this? How do we move forward? Evening, everyone. Evening, mate. Good to see you, Kieran. Good to see you, Kieran. Yeah, we got to do a quick show. I'll probably do about a half hour, 35 minutes if anyone wants to jump in as well. But yeah, I got a quick show, and like I said on the thumbnail, it is February fixtures, and we got a big month ahead. And obviously, there's a double entendre there because we have 6 games left in February, 3 home, 3 away, and then we have 1 March. We're playing Tuesday, Saturday for the next few weeks, this entire month. And so this is something we need to figure out. We have to turn this around. We got to turn it around now. And if this is like the turning point of the season, because yeah, after that defeat, there's been a lot of talk about should we change the shape? Should we not change the shape? Should we start new players? Should we do whatever? But the main thing is, and I go back to what, and I wanted to bring up this what happened over the summer was we got to win football games. No matter what, we got to win football games. How by hook or by crook, if we want to get through, we got to win football games, and it's not going to be by us lumping the ball forward and changing things up. So whatever the system is or isn't, it does work. We are in a good position. We have 2 games in hand on Barrow. We are still only what are the standings right now today? Let me just bring it up here. We are still only 6 points off the top of Stockport with 2 games in hand. So if we won our 2 games in hand as of right now, and Stockport lost there too, we're tied for the top of the league. But let's see, man. Let's see. But on that note, I want to talk about the February fixtures and how we fix this. And we have to go. We have to go for the away. I'm going to walk it through right now. We have 18 points available. Again, there's 54 points available for the rest of the season. But I think February is where we turn this around, and this is how we have to win some away games. We have to get points on the road. And I think Kieran, who's also in the who's on? Yeah, I'll hop in. Come on in. I can do about 30 minutes. And then I can maybe pop on later. So if we're going to turn this around, we have to do it now. It is a do or die situation, I believe. Do or die, as in we need to show some character. We need to show some character, and this is the make or break month right there. That is exactly it. 1, 2, 3, XYZ. Make or break month. This is. So let me walk through it. There's 18 points available left in this month. Okay, 3 home, 3 away. Bradford City at home. This is this Saturday. Away at Sutton United. Now, granted, a wounded. I hate to use the word animal. A wounded team. Sutton being at the basement is an issue, but also they could be fighting for their lives. They've drawn 4 of the last 5 games. Notts County at home on Saturday. So that's Bradford City, Sutton, Notts County, MK Dons home on Tuesday, Gillingham away Saturday, Forest Green Rovers away on Tuesday. All those are so it's the 10th, and it's the I'm going to get the dates up so I don't fuck it up. Sorry, everyone. I want to get those dates right. Okay, it is this Saturday the 10th, home game away Sutton, 13th. That's a Tuesday. Saturday, February 17th against Notts County, big game. Home away again is MK Dons and at Gillingham, and then that is a away game and then a home game against Forest Green Rovers. So in order for us to, sorry, my cat is sneezing. In order for us to put this back on track, we need to get our stuff together. I'm gonna bring in Kieran. How you doing, my guy? There he's supporting the Newport County, and I don't. Hey, it is what it is. You gotta do it. How you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad at all. The only reason I'm wearing this is because my hair's an absolute state for one, and I'm freezing for a second. So
yeah,
we're gonna stick with a hat today.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I got about 30 minutes. I can get into it. I wanted to see, wanted to walk through a few things. Maybe you can help us out. I know you don't support United, but sorry, not United, Wrexham, but I say United. I'm reading United right here. I'm on the side here. And this is a very crucial month for us, as you know. But I think we got to turn it around right now. And on our away form is crap. Thoughts on that? Like you said, there's 18 points available in February. How many do you think of those do we need to get for in order us to maybe turn this around?
I mean, you talk. I'll use Newport as an example because in terms of the last 6 games, we're the most informed team in the league, and we've only dropped. I think it's 4 points. We picked up 14 from the last 18, and that is obviously title-winning form. It all depends. Obviously, you expect automatic promotion, I'd imagine, in and around there anyway.
Yep.
The probable bare minimum you need from this next 6, the 18 points available, if you want to just make sure you're in there, 14 or 15 points. You don't have room to drop many.
That's what I had too. I had between 12 and 15 points. I think we need to take away from there. And our away form, like you said, we have to. I think you and Ivan's in. Hey, greetings, gents. How you doing? Welcome back, Kieran. And he says, I think that is something that we have to figure out the away form, or else we're gonna be in the mud. And because when I'm saying the mud, I mean we're gonna be in the playoffs. And you guys, how far are you away from making playoffs?
4 points off, but there's some teams that have played one less game than us because of whatever reason. But saying that, there's 1 or 2 that have played one more game. So push and shove, but it's 4 at the minute.
Yeah. If you were going to put your Wrexham hat on here, Bradford City, what do you going against Bradford? Well, just going to run through the February fixtures and how we go about turning this around. Bradford City, I think Parky didn't he manage there before? So he's got a little bit of history. Is that correct? That's a home match. Tough outfit?
No. For the most part, no. I think the thing about Bradford, and I suppose Wrexham are falling into the same trap, is that they're stupidly inconsistent. The last time I was on here, I was talking about Salford, that, they built this consistency and they're really building some form with it. Bradford are quite the opposite. 1 week you'll have them doing really well, and the next week they're really poor. So I immediately said it won't be difficult, but it all depends what Bradford shows up, because it almost feels like there's 2 forms, but I tend to see that they struggle away as well. So yeah. I think you being at home for that game is a massive advantage, as it would be for any game in your circumstance anyway.
Yeah, so their form is 3 draws, 2 losses in their last 5. So not great. 18th place. To be fair, you're 13th. They're 18th, and we're in 4th. Obviously there are a few points behind you guys, but as you're saying, there's a big difference between that middle of the pack and then the bottom of it too.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Which brings you to the next match, which is Sutton away. So Sutton's in 23rd. So you're saying Bradford's a winnable match at home. Sutton there, that's maybe 3 points. Sutton away, thoughts there?
Cool. Okay, well. Yeah, Sutton is I think I'm on my own here, so you know what? I'll go off the thing. I suppose in terms of Sutton, difficult team. They're not They're not fun. There you go.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, there is a storm going on here. So if that happens again, I apologize. There literally is like rain buckets. If you haven't seen the news, not that everyone's watching the LA news, there's buckets and buckets of rains coming down here. So I apologize for that. So yeah, we were saying Sutton.
Sutton, if you would have asked me, or if you were playing them 2 months ago, I'd say you'd stick 4 or 5 past them. But in terms of recent, I don't know what it is, but every time we get to this February point, this final stretch of the season, so to speak, in terms of you're not going to see teams making changes and everything in between, they have, and you always see it towards the bottom of the table in League Two, they almost feel like they've got a resurgence of belief that they can stay up kind of things. They've pulled off a good few draws more than more than wins, because it always tends to be they start off well, but the longer a game goes on, the longer they fall into kind of, the traps that got them there beforehand. But should you be able to deal with the first, 50, 60 minutes of their consistent pressure and their consistent, not pretty football by any means, you should be all right. That should be a very winnable game just out of quality alone.
Quality alone, but our away form. And then I don't know if you watched the 250 headers we had in the game the other day, which is just astronomical. I hope we don't fall into that again. So that'd be Sutton. So possible winnable game, maybe a draw. Cannot lose that game for sure. So let's come out of there maybe with a W. Notts County at home is the next one. Moving through the fixtures, this is that's a tough outfit, even though they lost their manager. They have good players. Jones, Macaulay. Is that his name, Macaulay?
Langstaff, yeah.
Macaulay Langstaff.
Yeah. No, in terms of quality, we were talking about individual qualities of League Two players. If you want to rank them, you've got Wrexham in terms of immediate quality above everyone, and then you maybe put Stockport and then Notts County. But the difference is that you've kind of had, I suppose, and it's why you may be upset with how you're doing compared to how Notts were up until they lost Luke Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They had played a football that had a system behind it, so that was the difference. But obviously, they've now lost their manager, and they're almost in a transition period of new manager has ripped apart what the old manager did for the most part, and he's adapting his own style of football. So you're playing them at a really convenient time where I don't think they'll quite be glued in terms of, ways they want to play. Obviously, you would want to play Notts County the second they lost their manager for the most part. But I think in terms of your fixtures and the convenience, I think you couldn't play them at a much better time.
So you don't fall into, by the way, it's Man City, 3-1. Jesus, I don't know if you have the game on. They just turned this around in the second half here.
Was it 3-1?
Yeah. Oh, God, just like that. Didn't even, like it never happened.
It's so frustrating because I'm like, I've recently got back into FPL, and the one player they've got, Phil Foden, who's actually doing well. He's on my bench. I'm fuming.
Oh God, he scored 2 goals in the second half here. Well, they actually Holland is on, which is, I don't know if he started tonight, but Holland is on. But yeah, Phil Foden literally just walked the ball into the goal. But Jesus, they're so good.
They'll win the league. They'll win the Premier League again.
Well, I thought we digress. I thought Liverpool yesterday, if they stood up to Arsenal, I thought they would have a real solid chance, especially because Klopp's on his, going to take his last bows for this year. But after yesterday and seeing City, who are just like a machine, whatever.
They got 2 games over those teams above as well, and they're only like 4 points behind. So everything's fallen into their plans.
Yeah. And they just about to sign this kid. I know they're talking about Premier League. Everyone wants to hear about Wrexham and the League Two, but like they just signed this kid Salvio from Girona. He's a Brazilian kid. He's fantastic. So he's going to come in. But as far as go back to Notts, sorry everybody talking Prem, we've got a little sidetrack there. Notts County, do you not go with the new manager bounce? I mean, that was the manager. Then we went off to Swansea, but we don't believe that's going to happen. So that's a possible one for us at home.
Yeah, I think you beat them away, and last season you got the 1-up over them. So I think just of a mental state, that game means a lot more to them than you in circumstances. So I suppose it's equally, in terms of Notts County Wrexham, is equally a mental game as it is a physical on the field game. But I think they're in a position where the new manager bounce, or put that in quotation marks, because they haven't had it. I think that's fallen off, and now they're in this awkward scenario of the players aren't quite up to speed yet, but they're not new enough to want to, I suppose, impress their manager, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably primed for the playoffs if things, that's kind of where they're at. So still a dangerous team. Obviously, they have good, solid players. The one that scares me the most is MK Dons, probably in the rest of this. I think MK Dons, they're a little herky jerky as well. They won 3 out of the last 5. They're in 6th place, just above Notts County, but I think they have better form. MK Dons are a dangerous team, and when we're playing Tuesday, Saturday games for the entire month. Come on now, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. We've got Tuesday, Saturday games for the most part as well, and we have a really tough run of fixtures, and it includes Stockport away. But very similar to you, I'm most worried about playing MK Dons away because they have the stigmatism of they've got this massive ground, but they never fill it. But they always find a way at home, and there's a lot of teams that do that this season. We're one of them, but yeah, if you're going to be going into one of the games with hoping and not necessarily wanting a draw, but taking a draw as an acceptable result, I think MK Dons, that is stamped in the middle of that fixture.
Yeah, I'm going Bradford with 3, Sutton with 3. I'm going to go Notts County a draw, and MK Dons is a draw. So, that's 8 points right there. So the last 2, Gillingham and Forest Green Rovers, are both away. By the way, MK Dons is a home game. Gillingham, I don't know much about them unless you do. Obviously, you know more about the league than I do. What do you know about them? Dangerous?
I know quite a bit about Gillingham, actually. I've been to their ground twice. I've talked to a lot of their fans. Conveniently, we've beaten Gillingham twice. We got a stupidly good record against them, but Gillingham, if they are anything, they're low scoring, low conceding, and they always like scoring late. And it's always a situation of they're like 1-1 draws. A lot. I think at the start of this season, they had like 5 or 6 1-1 draws on the bounce. Like that is, they're consistent in the regard of being difficult to beat, but it also comes with. And I think in recent weeks, I've been talking to a few Gillingham fans, and they've mentioned that they're making silly errors that they never used to make. And I know they sacked their manager and he went to Cambridge. I think that was in November time. But they've kind of lost that defensive stability. But in recent weeks and in recent games, they've almost refound it. They've drawn a lot of games and won a few 1-0 kind of things. So I don't think they really benefit the way you play by any means, because for the most part this season you've been very free-flowing and fast and goal-scoring, but they're quite the opposite of that. So it's 2 very different teams going head-to-head. It all depends on, especially in that fixture with the way your 2 teams play, it's very much a situation of which game plan works better, and you probably merit Wrexham to win that more, given that like I said, in recent weeks, they've been making mistakes that are, bottom end of League Two.
Yeah, I think that's an away game that, looking at, if we have 8, that's 11 right there. If we can win the away match against Gillingham, I'm hoping that Parkinson, I want to read one of his quotes here when we get through this, the next one, the Forest Green Rovers, what he was saying about how he wants they suffered a 3rd defeat, and, all those talking points, and Ivan made good points yesterday, but, that's an away game we have to win. We have to find a way to win matches, and, it's just what it is. And then Forest Green Rovers, it's the last one in February. I know they lost their manager, and then they lost who's the guy, the player coach? What's his name?
They had Troy Deeney, and he was such a funny story. So he was originally signed as player coach.
Yep.
Obviously, they had David Horseman as their manager. He was a player. He was probably one of their star players for a good while. Horseman got sacked because they were 24th in the league, even though they have a squad that, don't get me wrong, it's not phenomenal, but it's better than bottom of League Two. Then they brought Deeney in as a coach, so he stopped being a player, and you can evidently... Yeah, you put the glasses on and the really weird attire. It was absolutely bizarre, the kind of stuff that he wore. And even more bizarre, so the stuff he said. He was openly saying about how bad players were and just not taking accountability. You could tell that he's very, very new to management. I don't think management's his game, so I think he'll dwindle out of football. But they've got a new coach in now who used to be kind of well established in League One, if I'm not mistaken. And they brought in a good few additions that when they were brought in, I can't name them off by heart, but I remember looking at them and going, how have they managed to reel these players in, kind of thing, because they're way better than bottom end of League Two. And I think in recent weeks they've been picking up draws and actually very similar to Sutton, having this resilience that they think they can stay up. But I think they're a lot more inconsistent, I'd imagine, than Sutton are in that mentality sort of thing. But saying that, in recent games they drew to Gillingham, so you've got potentially another draw on the hands. But I think in that circumstance, you've got a team of quality players. Meanwhile, Forest Green have about 2 or 3 quality players.
Yeah, they're definitely inconsistent. Their last 5 is 3 draws, 2 losses. Nick Donald, and good to see him in late coming in. Who's he talking about? We're running through the February fixtures that Wrexham has in February. We have 18 points, 3 home, 3 away, so 18 available. And we're just kind of walking through, and he's got good knowledge of Kieran here, who's has really good knowledge of the league. It's just kind of where we're just kind of walking through, what we think possible matchups will be, and the points are available there. And we were just talking about Forest Green Rovers there. So, that's a tricky fixture. They, like I said, they're losing and drawing, going back. I mean, that could be another win. That's probably the only other place I think we could pick up the other W, I would say. So that would bring us up to that 15 we were talking about on the high end. And I think that would turn things around, in my opinion, Go ahead.
I think you've got a genuine, real nice run of fixtures in terms of games that are winnable, and games where, if you are to, as we were talking about a couple of days ago, if you are to actually experiment with a style of play, and you are to actually, I suppose, reinforce your opinions and your status as one of the top teams in League Two, you've got some real games where you can experiment and you can actually show that you're one of those teams. And despite me saying that, you can afford to drop a few points, I don't think that excuses the fact that every single one of those games you've mentioned, for Wrexham's standpoint, every single one of them are winnable.
Totally.
Don't get me wrong. I think you'll drop a few points to Gillingham and maybe MK Dons. You'll draw both of them, but they're very winnable games. They're ones where, should you go in with a style of play, and should you go in with just being able to show your quality while having this metric and style of formation and setup, you can pick up 18 points out of 18 this month, and all of a sudden you can be looking at not just automatics, but you can be looking at the title. And don't get me wrong, if I was in your scenario, I wouldn't really care about the league title at this point, but I think it's a very achievable thing to get if you have a good month, which on paper you definitely should.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. Like, for me, I'd love to win the league, but I think this is just us coming up, and I think for the progress, and this is not like, there's no entitlement in football. We both know that, but they're so like, let's just get promoted, and I think what's going to happen in the summer, if we do get promoted, I think there's going to be a big fallout in regards to players leaving, and some are helpless got to hear. But and I think there's going to be a total revamp. But I think you're right. It's like, let's just get through and let's move forward. And I think that's what they should be by Crook. Yeah.
The difference as well, last season when you were in the National League, you were very full focused on winning the league.
Yeah.
And that's because there's only one automatic promotion spot, and that is for winning the title. You don't want to risk playoffs, and that's the difference with League Two. There's 3 automatic spots, so it almost takes that pressure off, and takes that we don't need to win the league. Like, we shouldn't try to, but we can afford to drop points. That it does take pressure off the right mentality of players, and I think you do have the right group to actually get promoted, because a good majority of them were part of, the absolute miracle that was last season. But yeah, to me, I think you get playoffs this season, and even if you go up, I still think it isn't a good season. If you get playoffs and go up, I think just by bare minimum, you should be getting automatics.
Yeah, I agree with you. Aaron, who's your Wrexham fan, says, hey guys. Hey Aaron, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Jose Rojas says, with the team we have, the title is at hand. And sure, and I think that's what Kieran's saying, but it's like, focus on moving up. I just want to get some quotes, and I got about maybe 10 minutes left, and I apologize to be rushing. Maybe I can come back on later too, and with everybody. But I have a meeting I have to get to, work stuff. But this is like Parkinson was talking about. This is in the leader with Richard Williams. He said, this is after the loss, and maybe get some thoughts of what you think. Maybe you can dissect a little bit about this too. I said to the lads that the individuals have to find a way to play better in these types of games, and collectively we need to do better. We picked up Tunnicliffe and Hayden, strong physical players, because we knew it was going to be like that. But we conceded 2 goals from set plays. In any season, you have runs where it doesn't go your way, and we got to work to come out of the dip in quality, and we will do. Do you think that he can implement a more physical mentality? Parkinson, from what moving forward here, because we seem a little bit fragile, and you guys, I thought, played us really well. We were down to 10 men, even though you scored 1 goal, but I think you guys played us really well. The physicality, I don't think we're adapting to.
Yeah, I think that's the difference with the League Two than you get with the Championship and the Premier League, and even some teams in League One, is that it's very old school football. It's very physical. If you have a back line of not fast but physical centre backs, because of the naivety at times of League Two attackers and the thought that they can just beat League Two defenders with no problem.
Yep.
That there is the level of physicality in this division, especially, beats everything, and that's why you mentioned the signings there that you brought in. They are physical, and they're what you need for this league. Maybe they're not long term. Maybe they'll stay 1, 2, 3 years and they'll go off from there, because those type of players, really physical but potentially not quite quick and technically gifted players, they won't do well, and they won't adapt to higher division football, because you don't need to realistically rely on the physicality. But yeah, it's one thing that I think Wrexham are missing, and obviously I can take the Newport at home game, even though you were down to 10 men, and that immediately puts you on the back foot. But even when you were creating things, you were stopped so quickly just because of how physical our defence is and our midfield is. And that's the thing that you've got to have in League Two that you won't have to have in any division higher, is the physicality and is the immediate presence. Because, like I've said many a times, football at this level is equally a mental game as it is a physical one.
Yeah, and you talk about good quality, can usually shine through. Like, for example, we were just talking about the City matchup here. Brentford, they're a decent side, but there's so much quality on the pitch that it just outmatches whatever effort. But listen, effort does come out and play. Some people don't show up, and that happens. Even like when I played college basketball, it's like, okay, they were bigger, stronger, faster, and it's like, they would always take over, and it was over. So he listen, and moving on, that too says he went on to say, Parkinson, we haven't had too many dips over the last few years like this where results haven't gone for us. And we're not going to start criticizing individuals or going too mad. We're just going to work together as a group and come through this dip and come out the other side. They need to find solutions. So, and again, I mean, that sounds a lot of coachy talk, but now it's like, you got to go back it up, and I think that's a really, really interesting way to put it, in my opinion, what he's putting out there. A lot of just stuff.
Yeah, you can say a lot of stuff about, we need to play better, we need to get out of this dip by playing as a group. But there's many managers in the recent years of League Two, or even just in football, where you can talk all you want and you can say that these things will change, but until it shows on the field, those words mean absolutely nothing. Actions speak a lot louder, especially in football. And I was speaking the other day to you about Parkinson and whether he's kind of good enough as a tactical coach as opposed to a talking coach, because that's what I've kind of known him for, is not really having a style of football, but he always finds a way to get through things. And whether it's by him just being in a team with players that have these individual qualities is a different story. But he can say all that. He can say all he wants, but it's one thing that I can even talk about our manager. He doesn't talk and say that these things need to change. Like, he doesn't have to say it. You don't have to say your team is playing poor to, actually see that team's playing poor. So I would much rather be in a situation where he doesn't say anything. I'd put, you already get enough attention. You already get enough eyes of people saying you're not performing to levels that you expect. Just use this time and use the convenience of League Two to actually improve, as opposed to just saying you will.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. And that's why the February fixtures, it needs to be fixed right now. Whatever it is, I don't give a shit. I don't care what it is. They need to go in there, look in the mirror, and say, "This is how it is." And I know Ivan comes on, he's talking about mentality, like this is the system, and it's not going to change. And he's probably right. Like we need to get to this point. We need to fix whatever's going wrong. We're not going to implement new things, I think, but we got to get it done. And I think this is the first time I think people are really starting to. I know they don't want to hear this question Parkinson, and because I've been really positive. I'm not saying he's got to go or anything, but I think people are just like, what's going wrong here? Did we get figured out? What's up? And on that note, Jose Rojas says, I hope they can shake off the last couple of performances. I hope so too. Aaron says he basically said nothing. Yeah, I kind of think so. We need to show it on the pitch, and like in anything else in life, do your talking on the pitch. So that's why I think we need to step up and figure this out. We are Wrexham says hello all, hello. I want to come in and do a real quick one. It's good to see you. Maybe we can have a like I said, we're kind of just growing and doing different things here, but I appreciate you taking a look at some of the other teams there. I think it's a great look for some of the growing community we have, and a great perspective having you on. So that's awesome. Who do you got? Before we let you go, who do you have this weekend coming up?
Oh, we've got Walsall away this weekend. But based off of the relationship of you going away to Walsall, it isn't going to prove to be an easy one. But I have faith that we continue our stupidly good start to the year, and I'm quite enjoying that we get no exposure because we can just have the grasp and have the desire to just do our thing without anyone commenting about it. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And like I said, when we were in second place, I'm like, let's stay in second. I'd rather be chasing rather than being on top, because once you're on top, everyone's gunning for you. Everyone's already gunning for us. So it's like, when you guys has a pretty good outfit, had a good outfit, good moment when you guys went against Manchester United, and I think it's great. On that note, by the way, Parky at Wrexham, 147 games, 92 wins, 33 draws, 23 losses. Listen, we're definitely not saying Parky out. Kieran is always great in your take on things. Also, let me put this out there. We can talk about it too. Maybe we can do a more 360 view of League Two. Maybe we could put a show together if you'd be interested in that. We could talk offline, and maybe the group would be interested in that. Seems like they're liking more analysis and more 360 view of the league, if that's something to be up to doing.
Oh, we could definitely do it. I know a good few, fans of every team in League Two that will probably be more than open for it. So, yeah, it's definitely something we can get to work on.
Okay, that's awesome. Again, by the way, we just met. We had a little friendly back and forth after the match. Kieran and I, very friendly. It was great, and that's how we connected. And I think this is about. And I think that's probably fun. Maybe we can do something like that, where we can have like a bigger version of League Two and grow this. So, like I said, that's why it's called the local pundit. Not I want to. If we can have pundits all over different clubs, that'd be great. That's awesome. So, I have to jump. Unfortunately, I hate to cut off here because I could keep going for another hour, but it is good to see you, man. It's good to catch up. Are you in our Discord? Not that you want to hear about the Wrexham talk, but I can put something in there if you want.
Yeah, I'm not in the Discord, but is it a thing that you have like linked on your Twitter or something that I can just pop into?
Yeah, what I can do is sorry to digress already. The link is on YouTube, whatever, and I can set up something for like a League Two chat. And we can all go in there and start growing that community that way. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that works. I'd be more than up for it.
All right, it's good to see you, man. It's good to catch up and chat and get your perspective too.
Of course, good to chat, man. Even though we're like I say every time, even though we're fans of two different League Two teams and two teams in Wales, I just love talking football.
Yeah,
I have no agenda.
Me too. No, he's great. I think everyone's really loving your take on it too. So thank you very much, man. It's good to see you. And let's both have bad hair days today. Let's do it.
I'm just gonna we'll ignore it. It's an absolute nightmare. Put this up.
Put that, get the hoodie on. I love it, man. All right, it's good to see you. It's Kieran. He's becoming a regular, so it's great to see him. All right, we'll catch up soon. See you in the Discord. All right,
take care.
Take care. Later. Awesome. That great guy, really good addition, and wanted to get a quick one in, and we were walking through some of the actually turned out to be really good. We were just walking through the fixtures, so really important to feel like we're gonna, I think we're gonna come out of this next month between 12 and 15 points to kind of turn this around. And that's why it's, February fixtures. We got to fix this. I don't think we're going to fix the problem, but we need to fix our position and get a mentality right. And this is the only way, we're going to do it. I think this is the month to do it. It's like not critical mass, but it's critical mass. If you know what I'm saying. John H. says, peace, good luck, Newport. Yes, we'll have him on. And I think if everyone's interested in that, we can definitely, do a like a League Two chat in the Discord, and then I can do a show. We can put together a show. They can be really, really fun, and like I said, that's why it's called the local pundit. It's not like, listen, Wrexham is our team. That's what we love, but we want to grow this community and grow it out a little bit more. We can have a better 360 view of League Two, League One. So, love to get involved. Ivan, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Thank you. Good, man. Good to see you, Kieran. Anyways, I got to jump because it is a work day. Oh God, I'm looking at the city goals again. That's not good. Not good. They're gonna push for the league again. But yes, so that is our Monday show. Might pop on a little later. I'll let you all know if anyone's interested. Shoot it in the Discord. Make it pop on later and do another show if everyone wants to jump back on. I know Ivan and Sheldon have been working on. Good to see Ivan and Sheldon have been working on, wrapping their heads around some of the data. So we can maybe do something like that. Have Ivan and Sheldon put something together and have you drive a little bit more, get a little bit more, lack of a better word, more tactical X's and O's with that. So that's great. So we'll keep an eye on that, but lots happening. And all right, on that note, that is your February fixtures. We walked through, which is great. A little bit quotes from Parkinson. It's Monday the 5th. So I'm going to get going because I got some other things to do, but it's good to see you all. And I'll see you on the Discord. So on that bombshell, I'll see everyone soon.